Hi, welcome to Crossfader. My name is Jamie Hartley, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get started with Serato DJ. There are two versions of Serato DJ, both Lite and Pro, and in this video you will learn how to get started no matter which you use. So whether you've got something like the Pioneer DJ SB3 as your very first controller, or even something like the SX3 using Serato DJ Pro, if you're a beginner DJ, this is the perfect place to get started. In this video you're going to learn how to import your music and manage your music library, make sure it's analysed, and then also how to use some of the basic features that every beginner DJ needs to be aware of, such as things like setting up cue points and using the tempo adjust. If you're just getting started out as a DJ and you haven't actually got any equipment yet, then we've got a huge giveaway at the end of this video. Now just bear in mind it depends when you're watching whether this competition is still active or not, but what we're doing is giving away a Pioneer DJ SB3 along with all of the relevant online courses that we offer. That's a Serato Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced and a Scratching course. It's worth a lot of money. We can't wait to give this amazing prize away to one of you lucky viewers, so stick around until the end. To start with, open up Serato DJ without any equipment plugged in. This will allow you to batch analyze your music. These same principles apply whether you're using DJ Lite or Pro. You will notice a few basic features along the top of the software, such as a crossfader and volume faders, plus loop and hot cue options. These are basic tools to use for previewing and blending tracks without any hardware plugged in. We have a 6-part video series on using Serato DJ Lite in this way. Just click the link if you don't own a controller already. Now let's look at how to import your music into the software. You can download our Crossfader music pack via the link in the description to help you get your library started. It's worth getting organized with your music library from the start. Serato uses crates to separate your library up. Click this plus icon to add a crate and then double click to rename it. Crates can be dragged onto one another to make subcrates for extra organization. I'm going to prepare my crates for the music pack. To import the files, you can navigate to their location using the Files tab here. Then just drag and drop from within the software to the crate. To analyze your files and add the BPM value to the song, just select all with either Ctrl or Command A and then drag onto the Analyze Files option. Alternatively, to import you can simply drag and drop from the location on your laptop instead. You can load songs by dragging and dropping onto a player to preview and set up cue points or loops if you choose to. Another way to get music to DJ with is to use one of Serato's integrated streaming services. Currently there is Tidal and SoundCloud integrated within the software. To access either, you'll need to click the gear icon to open settings, go to Library and Display, and then choose your streaming service. Both require a streaming membership, which is an extra cost to consider. You won't be able to record sets that use music from these services in Serato DJ Pro, and currently you will need an internet connection as there is no offline mode at the point of making this video. In this example, we're using SoundCloud. With SoundCloud, all you need to do is manage and create your playlists on the SoundCloud app or website, then hit the heart button to like the song, album or playlist for it to appear in Serato DJ. You'll have to restart the software to access any new additions, so keep that in mind when preparing your music. SoundCloud tracks also can't be mixed with normal crates currently, so your organization is separate from SoundCloud to the normal Serato DJ library. You can also search SoundCloud or Tidal directly from within the software. Just hit the icon next to the search bar and search away. If you use iTunes to store your music and manage your music, you can access your iTunes music library directly within Serato DJ Lite and Pro. Just head to the settings and check this option, and then your iTunes library should show up where the crates are. The DJ SB3 is powered just with a USB cable, so you can just plug it straight into the back and then into your laptop, and that will power up the controller. There is no external power supply. Some controllers might have an external power supply, so make sure you've got that plugged in as well as the USB to your computer. Next, you'll need to get some audio connected. So the master R and L, which means right and left. This is an RCA output. This will have to go to either your monitor speakers, to an aux in a sound system, or even just a little mini rig system if you are using some sort of portable speaker setup. What I've got is an RCA cable like this that plugs straight into the back, and this then plugs straight into the back of some KRK monitors that we have in the studio.
Once you get your controller plugged in via the USB on the back into your laptop, you'll notice that the display in the Serato DJ Lite or Pro software changes ever so slightly. Now this just makes it easier to visualize what you're doing on the controller and on the screen itself. Now the first things you're going to need to get used to are how to load songs in and then to get some audio out of your speakers. So the first thing I'd recommend is you can use the browse pot here to scroll up and down your playlists. You can click it in to go within a playlist to scroll up and down and back out. So if I go to the Crossfader music pack and I just load something in, here we go. Now, first thing to do, I would say put the crossfader in the middle, bring both faders down. The other volume controls that we have are called trim controls, and they're at the top, and we can bring both of them down. And then you have the master level, which you can bring right down. I'm going to have to leave it up for the recording so you can hear what I'm saying, but you could bring that right down. And then the next step would be to play a song. Looking at the VU meters, we put the fader up. You won't see anything yet because the trim is still down, and this is a channel level. As we bring the trim up, you'll notice that the channel level visual meter starts to appear. You'll also start to hear the sound as well at the moment because I've got the master up. But the next step you would do really is if the master was down, is start turning the master up, and you'll notice my voice is getting louder because it's all running through the recording. But that is how you would set up your levels. Now, you'll notice I've not brought this all the way up to 12 o'clock. It's a bit below because I want to make sure I'm not hitting the reds in this visual meter. This is what you would call distortion when it hits the red. And you just want to try and keep out of those reds. So use the visual meter and the trim controls when the fader is at the top to make sure you're just below that point. When it comes to mixing, you can use the channel faders to blend in and out. Nowadays, the crossfader is used more for cutting in and out rather than mixing and fading. But you can decide to mix using the crossfader if you prefer. I would recommend though getting used to using the channel faders to mix the volumes and the trims to balance the volumes when you're in the mix if one track is produced slightly louder than the other. Next, we have the cue button. You're going to need to know how to set up a cue point to work from whenever you're mixing tracks in. If I press cue while the track's playing, it will jump back to what the automatic cue point is. This white marker indicates the automatic cue. Now you'll notice on the screen there's ever such a slight gap before that first beat. I need to now adjust the cue point so it's perfectly on that beat. We can use the jog wheel on the top of the jog wheel to scroll forwards, align our playhead, and then hold and press cue. This now sets a new cue point, which is much tighter. You want to set the cue point on the first downbeat of the song. Now, if you want to learn more about beats, bars, and phrases and where to set up cues, then our beginner online DJ course for Serato will help you do just that and give you way more insight into those basics and fundamentals of music theory to get you mixing really nicely and cleanly from the get-go. But setting up a cue point is essential. If you hold the cue button and then press play, the track will continue to play. Try not to press pause and then press cue, thinking it will go back to the start. It doesn't. It will set a new cue point. If you end up doing that, use the jog wheel, go back to the start, and replace the cue. Next, we have the tempo adjust. And the tempo adjust is important when it comes to DJing because it's all about getting one track in time with the next track so that then when we blend them together, they sound on beat and it sounds good. The tempo adjust allows you to manipulate the overall tempo or the speed of the song. And you'll notice on the screen it changes here as I adjust this tempo up and down. When it's in the 0 position, there might be a little click on your controller where it sits in the middle. That is the original speed of the song. You can then use this visual to start with to match up the BPMs. However, I would recommend to learn how to beat match, so manually do this by ear without any visuals, something we teach in multiple ways within our beginner online DJ courses, but it definitely makes for a better DJ down the road, and you can do way more tricks if you understand when tracks are in time and out of time without the visuals. However, it is a great way to help you get started. Understanding how jog wheels work is also essential. There are 2 modes. If you see anywhere on your controller that says vinyl, you can click it on and off here. This then allows you to either scratch on the top of the jog wheel, or if we turn vinyl mode off, it just nudges the song. It's worth noting, even with vinyl mode on, the edge of the jog wheel is still a nudge adjustment, so we can slightly speed it up or slow it down, depending on whether you need to correct the timing when mixing between different songs. Next is the key lock. Now, I would recommend putting the key lock on. What this does is when you adjust the track using the jog wheel, either faster or slower, this is a temporary adjustment. it keeps the key at the same position. If we turn key lock off, it starts to sound funny when we go forwards and backwards. And especially when you're starting out, if we're going to be doing quite a lot of adjusting in the mix, trying to get it on time, it can be way more obvious with the key lock off. Also, further down the line, when you're mixing in key, you would want key lock on because it just means that the tracks are going to stay in their original key. Unlike if we were to turn key lock off and then speed the track up, it also pitches the track up and pitches the track down. So I prefer to have key lock on, so when we speed it up, it still stays at that original pitch or key. The next things to think about are your headphones. The headphones plug in down here on the front of the controller, and anything on your controller that's labeled Q, or here we've just got 1 and 2, these are to do with the headphone queuing system. Headphones are there to prepare your music, preview it before you play it in the mix, and also to get your tracks on time and beat matched before you then bring it out loud with the fader. So if you are mixing a new track in on this side, there are 2 ways to use your headphones. You could have just this channel on and just have one cup on one ear, or you could have both channels on in the headphones and listen to both tracks at the same time in both cups of the headphones. The level of the headphones is just above here, so you can turn this up or down to your liking. And then there is a master cue which will introduce whatever's being played out of the master into the headphones as well. So if you turn channel 1 off and put master on, it would introduce this channel into the headphones so you can hear how they would sound like together if this fader was up. It's just totally down to personal preference and what you find easier to match the beats up and to correct the timing. Some people like to have both headphones cups on. Some people like to just listen to one out loud and one in the headphones. But this is how you would activate and turn up and down the headphones. There are lots of performance features available on all controllers, such as hot cues, and here we have FX fade and pad scratch and all these different modes, auto loops, effects, filters. There's so much going on, but I definitely recommend any beginner DJ just start out by practicing those essentials of getting 2 tracks in time and using the levels to blend between the 2, and also getting used to setting up your cue points and BPMs. So if we just loaded another track, for example, it's worth getting used to doing this process of setting up your cue on the first beat. You would do this in the headphones, matching your BPMs to start with. And then let's just have a go at a basic mix. Using the headphones to preview. And then we can just use the faders to blend between the tracks and just do something really basic. Now we've got quite extended tracks here, so it gives us time to make sure they're on beat. It gives us time to really listen to the blend of the music and start fading out. And we could make this mix way more extended, but that's just the real basics that you would want to get familiar with when starting out on your controller and on Serato DJ Lite or Pro. All of the same principles apply even when using Serato DJ Pro. It's just that Serato DJ Pro has extra features available. There is also the ability to record your sets, which is a really neat feature, and one of the main reasons to upgrade to Serato DJ Pro. There are loads of other expansion packs available as well that you can activate and play around and get really creative with. With something like the DDJ SB3, it unlocks other features on the controller as well, such as this roll or slicer or beat jump, anything with these little dotted boxes either side. To start with though, don't get overwhelmed by any of those features, just keep it basic. Serato DJ Lite is all you would need to get started on a beginner or entry-level DJ controller like this DDJ SB3.
So I'm hoping now you've got your equipment set up, you've got your music analysed. If you want to download the music pack that we used in this video, then click the link in the description or in the card that pops up. And as mentioned before, we have a huge giveaway going on if you're watching this video around the time of its upload. You can win the Pioneer DDJ SB3 as well as four of our online DJ courses. This is the perfect package for anybody just starting out. You can take your skills right from beginner level, from not touching your equipment, right through to advanced tips, tricks, and also all of those cool scratching combos that you'll learn in our complete scratching course. To win, all you need to do is click the link that either pops up in the card or the other link in the description and just enter your email and your name and you'll get submitted into our raffle giveaway prize. Good luck to everyone that's entering. The winner will be announced at the end of this 12 days of Christmas period that we're currently in. And thanks so much for watching. See you in another video very soon.